Amen Thompson has arrived. The Rockets' young star has heavily improved after an already impressive rookie year, is a six-man of the year contender, and one of the best defenders in the league. Amen is arguably the second best player from the 2023 draft class, and his potential is through the roof, with a legit All-NBA ceiling. He's already an elite two-way player, and insanely versatile on both sides of the ball, with opponents scared to face off against him. On a young, encouraging Rockets team that is third in the West and an actual contender and has the looks of a potential dynasty, Amen will be at the forefront of this Rockets surge. Yeah, this is no exaggerating. Amen Thompson has been that good, and already since last season, Amen has grown so much offensively. He's averaging nearly 3 more points per game at 12.2, ranking 5th on the team, but inside he's a great player despite being a guard/forward. He's scoring the 4th most points on the Rockets on drives, but off ball he has been very underrated, ranking 2nd in points off cuts among all non-big men, the only higher being Christian Brown, and he's doing it very efficiently at 63.2% from the field and 1.22 points per possession. Even more impressively, he's shooting 73.1% inside the restricted area, ranking top 15 among players with 3 or more shots made in that area, and 2nd highest among all non-big men. It shouldn't be surprising to hear that Amen is shooting an absurd 55.7% from the field, which is also the 14th highest among the 136 players averaging 12 or more, with all but one of the players higher being a big man. Amen is genuinely unstoppable inside as a physical driver that can get up and is very smart at his shots, and he's also just an absurd athlete, something I will harp on. One of the best in the league, and someone that can make special stuff happen. But even his three-point shot has gone up. Last year, he was an abysmal shooter, at a 13.8% rate on 0.9 attempts a game. While this year he still isn't good, the jump to 26.8% on 1.3 attempts a game is encouraging, and his free throw percentage jumping and going 33.3% from the corners on threes shows that this is not a fluke. He really is taking a slight shooting jump. His playmaking is also much better than the 2.1 assists shown, as he can create for others, specifically on the driving kick. We know what today's NBA is, but is also a solid connective passer. His playmaking should get better, and it wouldn't be shocking to see him as a primary playmaker for the Rockets in a couple years. Defensively, Amen Thompson is a complete dog. He's an elite point of attack defender, one of the most valuable type of players in the league, but his versatility is insane. At 6'7" and 210 pounds, Amen is a great athlete, being able to stay with the best players, guarding 1 through 4, and could probably even play minutes on some 5s, and is strong enough to guard inside. His off-ball defense is also amazing, which is great considering how the Rockets already do have good defenders like Tari Eason, and Amen is legit a playmaker defensively with over 2 stocks a game, creating opportunities in transition, especially helpful for a young team, and he locks guys up. If you need someone to stay with the opponent's best players, Amen Thompson is near the top of the list, and he's a crazy enough athlete that if he does get beat, he can recover well, especially near the rim. Just 31 games to the season, Thompson is already a 1.8 defensive win shares, 5th highest in the league, and on pace for 4.8. His defensive box plus minus is plus 2.2, which ranks 12th in the league, and his defensive rating is 104.3, which is 5th, even above Victor Wembanyama and Jaren Jackson Jr. Amen Thompson is statistically one of the 10 best defenders in the league this season, especially with an increase in minutes. He's becoming even more impactful and has caused Houston to be an elite defensive team. And his impact, yeah, it's just huge. The Rockets are plus 8.6 per 100 possessions when Amen is playing, yet the Rockets are usually winning by 9 points per 100 possessions when Amen plays, 3rd highest among rotational Rockets players, and the Rockets are nearly 5 points better when he plays, also 3rd among rotational Rockets players. He elevates this team as a spark plug with elite defense and is virtually unreplaceable. But just how good is Houston? Well, that defense I mentioned, it's completely true how good they've been. The Rockets rank 2nd in defensive rating at 105.9, only behind the OKC Thunder, and it is the best defensive rating from the Rockets since the 65-win 2018 team, where they took the Warriors to 7 in the conference finals, and was one of the greatest, if not the greatest team in Rockets history and one of the best in the 2010s. It is the franchise's 2nd best defensive rating in a decade and best relative defensive rating in Rockets history. a metric that compares defensive rating to league average that season. So this could be argued as the Rockets' statistically best defensive season ever. That includes their entire franchise with Hakeem Olajuwon. They create plays defensively with 439 combined stocks, 9th most, but also just lock down opponents. Teams shoot 61.8% against them in the restricted area, 3rd lowest, and 37.5% in the paint, but not restricted area, best in the league. Despite not having some insane rim protector, with Şengün starting at the 5 and Steven Adams, he doesn't really get many minutes, this team's defensive versatility covers up its flaws and turns them into strengths. Teams make just 12.2 threes a game against Houston, 2nd lowest, and at just a 35% rate, which is very good. Their opponent's field goal percentage is also the 2nd lowest at 43.7%, and teams score just 106.7 points against Houston, which is the 3rd lowest. With Tari Eason, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Dillon Brooks, and Jae'Sean Tate, this team is filled with very good defenders, and while their defense is the driving point behind their success, their offense is respectable too. Their offensive rating ranks 10th, above teams like Indiana, Milwaukee, and the Lakers, and they are 12th in points per game. A big reason in that is this team's ability to get to the line, with the 6th most average attempts at 23.6 a game. They can also finish inside very well as a team, with guys like Amen and Jalen Green, and passers like Şengün and Van Vliet. They create for others. Houston has also been very good in the clutch, with the 6th best win percentage and 3rd most wins. A majority of that is because of their defense, but it has led them to be a plus 12 across the season, 7th best. While this team is still very raw, they are very young, and taking a Thunder-esque jump this season, as the 3rd seed and just half a game back of Memphis. Their net rating of plus 6.8 and average score margin of plus 6.7 both rank 6th, and though they may not be on the tier 1 title contenders just yet, they are one of the brightest teams, and that could not have been done without the brilliance of Amen Thompson. Just how good is Amen right now? He was recently moved into the starting lineup the last 3 games, where he averaged 16 and 11, while shooting 58.3% from the field in nearly 36 minutes a game. Thompson is making the most of his opportunities, and a permanent starting job could take him out of the running for 6th man of the year, but he was undoubtedly one of the best reserves in the league, arguably the best, as an all-around guy that has a huge impact for the entire team. Where does he rank among players from the 2023 draft class? He ranks 2nd in win shares and 4th in box plus minus, and after Wemby, there might not be another player that's better. Currently, Brandon Miller may be the only player in his tier, with Lively, Bilal, and Grady Dick as the only guys even close, making him easily at least a top 5 player from this class, and has a top 2 ceiling. Amen has legit star potential. He's a great all-around guy, an encouraging scorer, elite defender, and off-ball guy on both sides of the floor, doing the dirty work that plenty of players aren't willing to do. The scariest part of his game is the 3-point shot, and if he can develop even a league average shot at 36 to 37ish%, then he may be unstoppable. He can create shots, but then being one of the scariest drivers and an elite multi-level off-ball scorer, there may be no way to stop him. He can be one of the best players in the league, and while he will most likely never be the 1A on a title team, I think he can be the 2nd best player and an all-NBA level guy.